everybody. This is my third video blog. That's what a vlog is. I am pretty stinking happy because not only have I been able to use this computer, which isn't mine, it's my friend Drew's, who's probably one of the coolest people in the world. I've been using this microphone, this one. Actually, I just learned how to use it tonight from the help of my friend Evan. It's his, actually, but it has a lot better quality, and I thought that was pretty nifty. Anyways, tonight, actually, it's kind of late, but I thought I would hurry up and post something before the too many days passed. Today is kind of a long one, but, it's like the first few pages of a book called Wish You Will by David Badalchi. He's actually known for like suspense novels, and I've never read any of them before, but just what I know about him, he's known for like the scary, suspenseful kind of books, but this one is really more of a calm tone kind of a book, but he writes it so well. And the first few pages, actually, I like them so much because it introduces the book so subtly that you just want to keep reading. Not because it's some sort of adventure book or because there's some sort of mystery in the beginning, but because he introduces the characters amazingly. He gives you enough details that you want to know more, but he doesn't overload you with how tall they are exactly and what they had for breakfast that morning. He just does it very excellently, and that is something that I really look up to. So I'm going to read the first part of the chapter. I don't know how far I'm going to go because you might get bored, but the title of this chapter is called Chapter 1. There's no title. So I'm going now. The air was moist. The coming rain telegraphed by plump gray clouds and the blue sky fading fast. The 1936 four-door Lincoln Zephyr sedan moved down the winding road at a decent, if unhurried, pace. The car's interior was filled with the inviting aromas of warm sourdough bread, baked chicken, and peach and cinnamon pie from the picnic basket that sat so temptingly between the two children in the back seat. Louisa May Cardinal, 12 years old, tall and rangy, her hair the color of sun-dappled straw, and her eyes blue, was known simply as Lou. She was a pretty girl, who would almost certainly grow into a beautiful young woman. But Lou would fight tea parties, pigtails, and frilly dresses to the death, and somehow win. It was just her nature. The notebook was open on her lap, and Lou was filling the blank pages with writings of importance to her, as a fisherman does his net. And from the girl's pleased look, she was landing fat cod with every pitch and catch. As always, she was very intent on her writing. Lou came by that trait honestly, as her father had such fever to an even greater degree than his daughter. On the other side of the picnic basket was Lou's brother Oz. The name was a contraction of his given one, Oscar. He was 7, small for his age, though there was the promise of height in his long feet. He did not possess the lanky limbs and athletic grace of his sister. Oz also lacked the confidence that so plainly burned in Lou's eyes. And yet he held his worn stuffed bear with the unbreakable clench of a wrestler, and he had a way about him that naturally warmed others' souls. After meeting Oz Cardinal, one came away convinced that he was a little boy with a heart as big and as giving as God could bestow on lowly, conflicted mortals. Jack Cardinal was driving. He seemed unaware of the approaching storm, or even the car's other occupants. His slender fingers drummed on the steering wheel. The tips of his fingers were calloused from years of punching the typewriter keys, and there was a permanent groove in the middle finger of his right hand where the pen pressed against it. Badges of honor, he often said. As a writer, Jack assembled vivid landscapes densely populated with flawed characters who, with each turn of the page, seemed more real than one's own family. Readers would often weep as a beloved character perished under the writer's nib, yet the distinct beauty of the language never overshadowed the blunt force of the story, for the themes embedded in Jack Cardinal's tales were powerful indeed. But then an especially well-tooled line would come along and make one smile and perhaps even laugh aloud, because a bit of humor was often the most effective tool for painlessly driving home a serious point. Jack Cardinal's talents as a writer had brought him much critical acclaim and very little money. The Lincoln Zephyr did not belong to him, for luxuries such as automobiles, fancy or plain, seemed forever beyond his reach. The car had been borrowed for his special outing from a friend and admirer of Jack's work. Certainly the woman sitting next to him had not married Jack Cardinal for money. Amanda Cardinal usually bore well the drift of her husband's nimble mind. Even now her expression signaled good-natured surrender to the workings of the man's imagination, which always allowed him to escape from the bothersome details of life. But later, when the blanket was spread and the picnic food was appointed, and the children wanted to play, she would nudge her husband from his literary alchemy. And yet today Amanda felt a deeper concern as they drove to the park. They needed this outgoing together, and not simply for the fresh air and special food. This surprisingly warm, late winter's day was a godsend in many ways. She looked at the threatening sky. "Go away, storm. Please, go away." So, that's not the whole chapter. I feel like I would bore you guys. But the reason I like this so much is I am a big sucker for learning about characters. I get super attached, and when somebody can write so good about their characters, it's hard for me to stop reading. At that point, I want to know everything that happens, because these characters are now part of me. Like, especially Lou, now we know she's a writer like her father, who is apparently a very good writer, and because I'm a writer, of course that catches my attention, and I go, I really like that. Especially even you're not a writer. If you're a reader, you appreciate a good story, you appreciate good writing, and so when you read about a character who's an excellent writer, of course that gets you interested. Well, I think, unless you're into other books, I don't know. But anyways, I just felt like sharing that with you guys tonight. I want to stay faithful to my vlog, even though you guys might get bored. I don't know. But I think it's good for me. I need to put myself out there more, I think. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I'm so sorry. I feel like there's probably food in my teeth. I just had eggs, and my voice is all stuffy because I sound like I'm getting a cold, but I don't feel sick. Anyways, there will be more soon. I promise you that. Can't tell you when, but soon. So, with all that said, I'm going to leave now. See you later, alligator.